So today I was going to talk about building a workbench, but then I remembered this isn't a woodworking channel. But while working on that bench, I came to a creative epiphany. To understand it, we're going to have to go back to 2023. My goal is always going to be the same. It's always going to be, let us grow together. And while I talk, I'm going to go ahead and show you the work in progress on the workbench because it matters to the story. But here's the thing. Building a workbench is not a very creative pursuit. In fact, it's actually a little bit mindlessly uncreative. But that mindlessness allows my subconscious to kick in, and that's where creative work really starts to happen, where I'm least expecting it.
So the one thing that I didn't realize about this, I don't know why I didn't realize this till now, but that section right there, and same thing over here. It's not flush. Like, it's not flush. The 2x4 hitting the brace, the crossbar, it's not flush. Also, the where I was going to place the wheels, it's not on the corners. I want to make sure it's as far on the corners as possible. So I'm going to have to figure out a different solution. I think what I'm going to do is just go buy a couple more 2x4s, cut them down, put them on the outside. That way it'll give it a little bit more range on the outside.
So in the beginning part of 2023, I was working in my collage series, and everything I did was pretty flat. Now, I don't exactly remember how it started, but I got caught up in a series of YouTube videos called scratch bashing or kit bashing, where they take random things, pieces of plastic, stuff they bought from the dollar store, and then they put it together and build something else. A lot of the people that do this work kind of like in the gaming, the board gaming stuff like Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, all of those things. They work in that space. Not my thing. That's okay. That's their thing. Cool. Good for them. But I really appreciated the process of taking all of these things, building them into something completely different. I also have this really strong feeling about upcycling and recycling things. So it kind of touched all the right points on me to want to indulge this. I actually made this. I made this little weird robot tank thing. The process of building that robot kind of made me experiment more with the dimensionality of things. And so I started making more three-dimensional work using the same kind of techniques, but in an interesting way on canvas. This is one of my favorite pieces of that era. It was fun. It felt new and interesting, and I really like the dimensionality. I think it's some of the most interesting work I've produced. Jumping ahead to this week, while I start working on that bench, I started to think about a documentary I saw back in 2009 or something like that called Life After People. And the concept of the documentary is that if people were removed from the planet for some reason, like we were annexed into space somehow, what would happen if just we were gone? And so the video talks about what would happen to urban environments, places that we have existed as humans, what would happen to them. And over a series of decades, things would go back to their wild roots. Now, of course, it wouldn't take over everything, but nature would really start to take over, control, break things, build through concrete, crack asphalt. And so I'm working on this workbench and I'm thinking about this documentary, and the wheels start churning in the back of my head about what is the next stage of the work that I'm going to be doing, the creative work that I'm going to be producing. And all of a sudden I get hit with this phrase. I don't know where it came from. I know I've heard it before, but it just is super relatable to exactly what I'm thinking at this moment. And that phrase is 0 point. Now, the most common definition of 0 point is like a point on a scale where things are denoted either positively or negatively. So if you remember things from math where you try to remember like +1, +2, -1, -2, that type of thing, the 0 point is the point in the middle. But it can also denote a point in time where things can be charted about success or failure of different things, which it goes back to this idea that if we were removed from the planet, that would be the 0 point of where nature starts to take back what originally belonged to them in the first place. Them, it. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. So I'm working on the bench, thinking about the 0 point idea, and then I start thinking about all the different things, the projects, and all the things that I've had kind of kicking in the back of my head, ideas that have just kind of been percolating back there, and I start to think about the bigger picture of like how they would all work in this 0 point environment. Or we think about all the material things that we cherish, and what would those material things look like if we were not here to protect them anymore? If we were not here to covet our televisions and our radios and our cars and our sofas and our living rooms and all of that. Like, what would happen to that? And the mind is just going like just bonkers of all the different things and the potentiality of that. Because then I think about this, and how does this apply to all of these ideas? And if you couldn't tell, I'm super excited about this. Now, I would be lying if I said this was a brand new idea to me, because it's not. I've always thought that I was going to take that three-dimensionality work and put it onto things, but I didn't have a real concept. I knew it was something I was going to do, but I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what I was really going after. And it wasn't until I thought about that documentary and then thought about that term 0 point that things really started to gel. And so I have these project ideas, and the ones that I've already got sitting here, like this chair. This chair has been sitting here staring me in the studio, for a long time. Since early or late 2023, this thing has been sitting here in this exact state since then, and I haven't done anything about it until now. Well, not now, but soon now. In fact, it's probably going to be, I don't know, maybe the next video or a few. It's going to take a while to finish that project, but soon I'm going to show exactly what I mean about how 0 point is affecting that particular chair. And then we'll talk about or show any other projects that are coming in the future. So if you want to stick around and see that, well, you better make sure that you subscribe. And also, while you're down there, make sure you hit the like button, comment if you appreciate that, or tell me, what should I turn into a 0 point device or thing? Or what should nature take over? Leave it in the comments, okay? In the meantime, go watch this one right here, because this kind of explains, all the things I'm doing here. If you haven't seen that one already, go watch it. Thanks very much. Okay, thanks, bye.